Have you ever sent a message and then kept checking your phone again and again and again, waiting for that one reply? You tell yourself, it's fine, they're probably busy, but then you see them online, active, typing, posting, living their life, just not responding to you. And in that moment, something shifts. Because now, it's not silence anymore. It feels like a choice. And that's what hurts. You go back to your message, read it again, once, twice, again. You start editing it in your head. That sounded weird. That was too much. I shouldn't have said that. And here's where it gets dangerous. You stop questioning the message and start questioning yourself. Maybe I'm boring. Maybe I'm annoying. Maybe I don't matter. And suddenly, a simple delay turns into a personal rejection. But here's something most people never realize. This reaction is not random. It's learned, it's conditioned, and it goes deeper than you think. Think about it. The first time you felt ignored wasn't on your phone. It was earlier, much earlier. Maybe when you tried to speak and no one listened. Maybe when you needed attention and didn't get it. Maybe when your feelings were brushed aside. And in those small moments, you learned something quietly. If I'm ignored, I must not matter. And that belief never really left. It just followed you into your friendships, your relationships, your conversations, your messages. So now, when someone doesn't reply, you're not just reacting to the present, you're reacting to everything it reminds you of. One night, someone sends a message. Not casual, not random, something real. He hesitates, types, deletes, types again, pauses, and finally sends it. And then he waits. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour. No reply. He checks again before sleeping. Still nothing. But his mind doesn't stop. And this is where the real damage happens. Why did I send that? I shouldn't have said anything. She probably thinks I'm too much. By morning, he regrets being honest. Not because honesty was wrong, but because silence made it feel wrong. But here's something most people never question. What if the silence was never about you? Because centuries ago, someone asked the same question. Why do people ignore me? The teacher didn't answer. Instead, he gave the student a bowl filled with water. Walk across the village, he said, but don't spill a single drop. The student began walking, slowly, carefully, every step measured. The world around him was loud, people talking, laughing, moving, but his focus was narrow, sharp, complete. People greeted him, some called his name, some even tried to stop him. But he didn't respond. Not because he ignored them, but because he couldn't. His attention was fully occupied. The bowl demanded everything, every step, every breath, every ounce of awareness. After a long walk, he returned, water untouched. The teacher asked, "Who spoke to you?" The student replied, "I don't know. I didn't notice anyone." And that's when the teacher smiled. What he said next will completely change how you see rejection. But before that, there's something even deeper you need to understand. Your brain is constantly trying to answer one question: am I safe? And social rejection feels like danger. So when someone doesn't reply, your brain reacts instantly. Not logically, emotionally. It creates meaning, fast, automatic, often wrong. But here's the deeper truth. Most people are not thinking about you as much as you think. They are thinking about themselves, their problems, their stress, their fears, their responsibilities, just like you are most of the time. And this is the shift most people never make. They assume attention is intentional, but most of the time it's just limited. The teacher looked at him and said, "They didn't ignore you, you were simply not in their focus." And suddenly, everything made sense. It wasn't rejection, it was attention being somewhere else. That message you sent, that silence that followed, that moment you replayed again and again, what if you misunderstood it? What if they were overwhelmed, tired, lost in their own thoughts, trying to hold their life together, just like you sometimes are? That late-night overthinking, that urge to double text, that quiet feeling of being replaceable. What if it was never true, and you just believed it was? Maybe you were never ignored. Maybe you were just not part of their moment. And that's okay. Because your value was never meant to be decided by someone else's attention. So next time someone doesn't reply, pause. Don't rush to assume. Don't rush to blame yourself. Just remember, everyone is carrying something you cannot see. And sometimes they're just trying not to spill. If this made you feel understood, share it with someone who needs to hear this. And subscribe to the channel for more quiet lessons like this.